Hello, this is Santosh Shinde, IT Department, VPKB IT Baramati. We are dealing with cloud trends, and this is third part of the cloud trends in cloud computing. So this is third part video, and this will be talking about the disk systems. Disk, which stands for intensive scalable computing. Basically, we live in an era of data explosion. In 2007, Randall Bryant was among those who called attention to the increasing demand for data-intensive scalable computing. Bryant has got certain observations before we see some of the systems. There are some Bryant's observations about data-intensive scalable computing. Uh, he has talked about some of the big data sources. In today's data-driven world, huge databases are generated from science in astronomy, genomics, natural languages, seismic modeling, scanned books, newspapers, historical documents, corporate sales, stock market transactions, census data, airline traffic data, entertainment, and medicine. This is a diagram that shows disk systems versus supercomputers. So these are your conventional supercomputers, and this is a disk system, that is data intensive scalable systems. Disk systems are much better in terms of satisfying a large number of simultaneous users with a high task throughput rate. You can see in a conventional supercomputer we have a hardware, and there is a machine dependent programming model where we have software packages and application programs at the top. In disk systems, on the other hand, we have machine independent programming model. So hardware, and then there are runtime systems, and at the top we have application programs. So this is the diagram that shows programmers' perspectives of disk systems against conventional supercomputers. So here we have machine independent programming model in disk systems, whereas in conventional supercomputers we have machine dependent programming model. Now coming to another very interesting issue is that of performance metrics for high performance computing HPC HTC systems, and these are some of the parameters that we use for measuring the performance of HPC HTC systems. First is systems throughput and efficiency. So system throughput of a distributed system for a cloud platform measures the number of jobs that can be done per unit of time, and it is been denoted with alpha. Systems efficiency alpha represents the effective utilization of all provisioned resources in a system. Next is the multitasking scalability, and this is represented with beta, or is denoted by beta. Multitasking implies the use of a system to handle many jobs simultaneously or concurrently. System services should be able to scale both horizontally and across the machine or cluster size, and vertically from applications to middleware, runtime and OS support, and hardware. The next is system availability, which is denoted with eta. System availability eta refers to the percentage of times the system is up and running normally. High availability specifies the performance level of a system with controlled downtime through quick recovery from failure. The term continuous availability refers to an operational level with almost no failure. So we say the availability is 99.999%, meaning only 3 seconds of downtime per year. In general, that would be very expensive to achieve in a real life machine environment. That is all about system availability. Next is security index, which is represented or denoted by delta. Cloud security is attributed to users' confidentiality, data integrity, access control, firewalls, IDs, defense capability against virus or worm attacks, reputation systems, copyright protection, data lock-in, APIs, data center security policies, trust negotiation and security auditing services. The next is cost effectiveness, which is denoted by mu. Is cost effectiveness, which is represented or denoted by mu. This refers to the estimate of an effective scale of economy achievable by a given system. Now the last over here is quality of service in cloud computing. This metric measures the overall quality of the cloud service regardless of the particular service model being applied. We use a 5-dimensional Kvyat graph that is shown on the next slide to plot the aggregated cloud performance or to quantify the quality of services graphically. So here is the quality of service Kvyat graph, or we may say a template with 5 attributes. So there are 5 attributes as we have just talked about them. The first is efficiency, alpha, then it may be 0 or 0.5 or 1 in this scale. As we go from the center towards the periphery, the value increases, the alpha value and all the other values similarly increases. So 0 represents the minimum value and 1 represents the maximum value for alpha. So efficiency is 1 means it is the greatest efficiency, or the system is highly efficient. 0 means it is not at all efficient, something like this. 0.5 is something which is the mean of the two. Then scalability, beta, we have all seen these 5 attributes, so they are represented in the form of a Kvyat graph over here. And then availability, and then we have security delta and cost mu. So these are the 5 attributes which are represented in the form of a graph, which is famously known as Kvyat graph, or a kind of a template with 5 attributes. Thank you. So this is the end of all the 3 parts of cloud trends in supporting ubiquitous computing. Thank you.